quiet clerk's hidden strength saves the day in a storm, turning mockery into respect. Discover Ellen Carter's journey. Like, subscribe, and share if this moves you. Comment. Who's the unsung hero in your life? In the shadowed hush of a pre-dawn hour where the world still clung to the edge of dreams, the faint flicker of dying lights cast a fragile glow over the empty corridors of Newfield Prep Center. A smug laugh pierced the silence as Lieutenant Ray Carter leaned back, his voice dripping with mockery. Did the filing clerk get lost in the stacks again? Amid the hum of outdated machinery, Ellen Harper, 46, admin assistant, sat unnoticed, her blue thermos cradled like a lifeline, her nameplate glinting faintly, unread, unacknowledged. Her fingers tightened around a worn folder, its edges softened by years of use. Funny how the world misses the one holding the keys until the door refuses to budge. Ever underestimated someone until their quiet strength reshaped everything. Long before the first rays of sunlight kissed the frost-laden windows, before the bitter scent of coffee filled the air, Ellen Harper had already breathed life into the building. Her soft shoes whispered across the cold linoleum as she unlocked the heavy front doors. Her routine a silent symphony, auditing supply logs with meticulous care, replacing the jammed stapler in admin room 4C and tending to the copy room's latest rebellion. A blinking red light signaled a paper jam. She knelt with practiced ease, unlatched the side panel and coaxed the crumpled sheets free. A gentle pat to the fuser rollers, a reset press, and the green light blinked back to life. She tore a strip of masking tape, scribbling fixed in her precise block print, and affixed it to the machine's top, a small victory in the stillness. The break room held the ghosts of yesterday's coffee, its stale aroma blending with the musty tang of aging insulation. Ellen set her blue thermos on the counter, unwrapping her sandwich, not for hunger but habit, then rewrapped it with the same care she once used to fold flags during drills. Her heater rattled to life, its groan a familiar companion. Outside, frost etched delicate patterns on her Honda's windshield, and a few stubborn maple leaves danced across the parking lot in the pre-dawn breeze. She passed a bulletin board, its contents frozen since summer, where a yellowed certificate, Meritorious Service, FEMA Region 4, December 2003, hung beneath a layer of dust, its frame a silent testament to forgotten deeds. Ellen's glance lingered briefly. Most days, no one else did. Her key turned in the metal supply drawer with a practiced click. She restocked radio batteries into training kits. Her movements deliberate, then headed to 4C to swap out the temperamental stapler. At 8, Ms. Rowland swept in, heels clicking with urgency. Budget reports on my desk by 9, she commanded. Eyes forward, voice clipped. Ellen nodded, though unseen. Laughter echoed from the next hall, staff joking about emergency kits. No one glanced her way. New hire Paul Mercer, clipboard in hand outside records, offered a tentative morning. He added, "That FEMA award out there. Yours?" Ellen's smile was tight, fleeting. "Just filler for bare walls." Paul nodded, letting silence reign, adjusting his grip before turning to the copier. At her desk, Ellen adjusted a lampshade that refused to glow, then opened the bottom drawer, retrieving a worn photo in plastic. Her and her uncle in fatigues beside a beige trailer. Their smiles faint but genuine. The fluorescence flickered overhead. Down the hall, the morning meeting began. Rowland passed with a stack of folders. An analyst grabbed printouts, muttering, "Thanks, Miss Helen." Ellen whispered, "Ellen, erection dissolved into the hum. She lingered at the diner later, hands wrapped around a chipped mug. Weak decaf warmed her palms. A muted TV flickered with coastal flood news. A farmer scratched a lottery ticket at the counter. The waitress slid pie to another table, calling, "Refills." Ellen declined with a smile, watching Paul fold an envelope into his coat, mouthing, "Thank you," unaware of its weight. Back at her desk, she tackled expense reports, misfiled, coffee-stained, correcting them with quiet precision. No one would check her work. She sipped from her dented thermos, its rim scarred from her uncle's old drill mishap. He'd chuckled, "Even steel tires." Down the hall, analysts rehearsed a presentation, their voices stilted. Ellen closed her door, savoring the solitude. Before leaving, she righted a tipped coat rack and pinned a "Veterans Breakfast, Saturday 8:30 a.m. Legion Hall" flyer. Past 7, the polished hall smelled of lemon. Paul struggled with a fire alarm sensor. "This place would collapse without you," he said. Ellen shrugged. "It doesn't fall. That's enough." The next day brought clouds and a biting wind. Staff filed into the conference room, burnt coffee, squeaky chairs. Lieutenant Carter grinned, flashing a slide deck with clashing colors, touting efficiency. Ellen stood at the back, a shadow. When Roland praised initiative, claps rippled, some genuine, some forced. Paul glanced at her, lips tight, saying nothing. Ellen adjusted her sleeve, revealing a dark band, FEMA Tier 2 responder, earned after coordinating relief in the 1999 Midwest floods. The meeting droned on, budgets, timelines, until a slide mislabeled a supply route. Ellen raised a hand. "That sector's closed. Route via District K." Hayes smirked. "Sure, paper pusher?" She nodded. "Check FEMA grid 19.4. Hargrove adjusted her glasses but stayed silent. Paul murmured, "Good catch." Hayes leaned back. "Badges online don't mean squat." Ellen rolled up her sleeve, showing the band's embedded chip. The room stilled. "You don't need to trust it," she said quietly, "but it trusts me." They saw the band, not the woman behind it. Later, in her office, snow began falling outside. She traced the band, then opened a drawer, her FEMA badge beside a scarf. A knock came. Lieutenant Kim stood, softer now. "May I?" She gestured him in. He opened her folder, photos of her at flood sites coordinating radios. "I managed supplies after the 99 floods," she said. Kim nodded. "Why stay quiet?" Before she answered, Hargrove appeared. "You should have spoken." Ellen met her gaze. "You never asked." That night, power failed. Snow thickened and the center's lights died, emergency strips glowing red. Hayes barked orders, flailing with flashlights. Ellen opened a cabinet, pulling maps and checklists. "Boiler lines frozen. Redirect ventilation," she directed. Kim asked, "What do you need?" "3 people. Gloves, flashlights," she said. Paul joined, toolbox in hand. Within 20 minutes, they worked. Ellen assigning tasks, Paul wiring radios, staff distributing thermal packs she'd brought. Music crackled from an old radio. In the senior wing, she checked on volunteers, calm and steady. A radio crackled. "Newfield Center, copy?" Kim handed it to her. "Carter, Ellen, ID 51276A, pause. Commander Carter, proceed." The heat returned, silence settling. Paul whispered to Hayes, "We're here because of her." The snow melted and pride followed. A week later, the Thanksgiving ceremony filled every seat. Hargrove spoke. "Strength isn't loud." Eyes turned to Ellen. Paul gave her a framed photo of her at work. A co-worker left pie with a note. "Thanks." Hayes mumbled an apology. A new memorial wall read, "Silent Service, Carter E., 2023," quoting her uncle. Lid without the mic, Ellen smiled faintly, leaving quietly, her thermos beside a new certificate. Outside, a veteran saluted. Her story asks, have you seen someone underestimated? Share your hero below, like, subscribe, and spread this.